Okay, we're here doing another one of these game things.
Yes, chess today.
So I'm Rick Reynolds, one of the hosts of the Intellivisionaries podcast,
I'm Ferg. I'm the host of the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast.
and we're doing a third one of these. We did so far we've done Reversi and Othello, and we've done Strikers, and now we're doing chess.
Chess. Oh, yep. Hold up the box.
Yes, I have to hold up the box.
USCF. What is US? Let's see. United States Chess Foundation.
Does it say Foundation or Federation?
Is it Federation?
It is Federation. U.S. Chess Federation Chess.
Mine is just video chess. What's on the cover of mine? Oh, it's a Thinky
Right.
Guy.
Once
Special
again,
edition too.
sorry, what was that?
Mine's a special edition. I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
nice. Let's get back to that thing that Mattel did with getting all these like official like uh, deals with they did with all the sports titles.
Yeah, yeah.
So and I think I mentioned on one of our podcasts that because of that now I can never find these games. It's not under C for chess. It's under US. On my bookcase or where I keep everything.
Doesn't the backgammon one have
Yeah,
that
some
thing,
kind of Federation
APBA or
backgammon
something?
players.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, so we're gonna play chess and. We did some tests and some timing of these moves on each system and each level, and we were kind of debating between do we want to really pit these two systems against each other as well as they can do, meaning let them think a long time and come up with their very best moves at every move, which might make the video go very long,
Extremely long.
and then very boring, I would think.
Yeah,
So where do we strike the balance between letting the computers think a long time to get their best move versus making a video that hopefully is at least interesting? So we decided that trying to keep it around a minute a move is at least not terrible.
yeah,
Minute upwards of maybe 2 when it's really thinking hard. And so playing around with Intellivision, I decided that would be level 3.
yeah. I decided that too. And it's basically the minute is an average. It can take a lot less or it can take a little more. It depends
Right.
on what the move is. And usually for the Atari, it depends on what point of the game it is. Usually the earlier moves are simpler and the later moves are more difficult.
Sure. And it probably depends on the strength of what it's playing against.
Right.
If you're playing very poorly, it probably comes up with a good move pretty quick. So,
Yeah, which was my case.
so what did we decide? Did we decide the Intellivision was going first?
I think so.
Just
Yeah, I
because that
think
was
that was the only way we could do it, wasn't it? Unless we flipped the pieces around, we didn't want to do that.
okay. So let's switch over
All right.
to the game. I'm picking my Intellivision output now. Oh, we kind of mentioned um, like last time I am using real hardware.
And I am not.
You're not. There we go. Is it up now?
Not yet. There you go.
Okay. So you need the Intellivision to go first.
Yeah, the Intellivision be white is going first,
Okay.
and then the Atari is black or red.
All right. So I have set my Intellivision at level 3, and
Oh,
it's
and you're
already
already going. Okay.
the Intellivision algorithm is one that you can adjust it at runtime. Um, so it may have picked that opening move on its level 1, but I'm not too worried about that.
Okay. All right, now we get to the flashing psychedelic screen that's thinking.
Psychedelic disco.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
see the what was it? What'd you say? Oh gosh, I'm not good at chess, folks. The bishop pawn, right? Is that okay?
Squares, yeah.
Okay, now while the Intellivision thinks, you can still look at the nice pieces on the chessboard there.
Yes, you can see right now the Intellivision is thinking because the white numbers are ticking ahead.
Yep.
The Intellivision, whether you want it to or not, keeps track of how much time each side is thinking. So,
Yeah. And you'll notice on the Atari that absolutely nothing is happening. There's nothing around
All right, the Intellivision moved the
the
queen
next.
pawn.
Okay.
Unfortunately, these neither of these systems are showing the chess grid notation so that it'd be easier for us to call moves back and forth.
I see. Okay. I can talk about that. There was actually a version of this called computer chess that was, if I remember correctly, it was made for Nolan Bushnell. I don't remember which of the guys who did it. The guys who did it were Larry Wagner and Bob Whitehead that did this game. And they made a version of computer chess. It was called computer chess. It had a label and everything, just an end label. And it did have those notations on it.
Oh.
And I totally forgot about that when we started, as I was going to use that version. So I would at least have something on the outside, and I totally forgot about it.
Well, that's all right.
Oh,
Intellivision has made its move and has captured that pawn with the queen.
but I guess you would have understood the notation. I would not have.
It's just like
Square numbers, right?
it's just a rows rows are numbered and columns are lettered.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you just say A1 to B2 or that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Very much like Battleship.
yes. So now the Atari moved this horsey.
Horsey.
Yeah.
I think that's what the chess pros call it.
Yes.
The knight is coming out.
Night.
The Intellivision will almost certainly have to pull that queen back.
Yeah.
I found that interesting that it jumped out and grabbed that pawn right away.
I know. Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer?
I haven't. No.
It's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, but they do a thing. One of the struggles they show the kid having. I don't know if it's based on a true story. I don't know if the real
Right.
kid struggled with this kind of stuff, but the kid always wants to bring his queen out early in the movie, and the chess pro keeps telling him not to do that.
Hmm.
I don't know if that was added as a thing to add a little drama or not.
Yeah. All right.
All right, retreat.
I don't know why it made a noise like that. Are you hearing any of my stuff come over? It's not a lot of noise, but
I'm not sure. I thought I heard a little something there.
okay. I think that's your
King pawn forward.
king pawn.
Yeah. It's 2 squares up, right?
Yes.
Got it.
And you also may notice that Rick's pieces look a lot better than mine. Mine look like a bunch of lines on top of each other, and that's the Venetian blinds technique that was developed for this game by Bob Whitehead, and it's been used in a lot of games since then. It's just Rick, I don't know if you know anything about the Venetian blinds. I don't really. I don't really understand it because it's a programming thing.
Intellivision has moved I believe the knight.
Horsey.
The horsey. I know that Atari has to draw every line. So I'm guessing this, I don't know because I haven't read about it, but I'm guessing
Right.
the Venetian blind technique allows it to only draw every other line
Yes.
when it's drawing the actual pieces.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you take screenshots, there'll be missing parts of stuff with the Venetian blinds.
All right, bring in the bishop out. Show me where he's at again.
Oh, sorry, he is at. Can you see it? Now I'm talking.
Got a corner to
There you go.
being protected by the knight there, and threatening the queen.
Oh yeah. All right. Now the queen can move any direction in any amount of squares, but the king can only move 1 square, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Any of the 8 directions.
Right.
And the king has limited. They're basically the same, but the king is limited to 1, whereas the queen can go as far as she wants.
Okay. All right.
Television is thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's one of those things that I think the Intellivision is going to have to either pull out a pawn to block this attack by the bishop that's attacking his queen,
Yeah.
or move the queen. And one of the things you learn in chess tactics and theory and whatever else is that you want to. Okay, so he's gonna intercept there.
Okay.
From what I've read, you want to always be developing, and you want to keep moving your pieces in a way that's developing. If you have to move them out of the way, move them in a way that's still developing the pieces' position somehow. I'm not real good at
Okay. Instead of just retreating, you mean?
right. So when he
Okay.
jumped out and grabbed that pawn at the queen and then had to pull back, I think most chess theory people would say, that wasn't so great.
Okay. Okay. Your bishop moved back in front of your knight.
Bishop back one.
Or my. Wait, who is that? That's the Atari, right?
That was your bishop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
It feels weird because you're entering the Intellivision's moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's another case of I'm not sure that retreating the bishop
Retreating.
here developed it any. Maybe I mean you could argue it's attacking the center of the board a little bit better, but I don't know. It had to retreat though. The pawn was attacking.
I think the problem for me is that I learned chess from like the inside of the box rules and remember playing years later after I had learned, and I know the basics, but I didn't realize that the pawns only could capture another piece diagonally. I thought it
Oh
was
yeah.
straight on, so
Oh yeah.
that was embarrassing.
And in Chinese chess, I think it's called Shang-Chi or something, or Shang-Ki or something like that.
Hmm.
They actually do capture straight ahead. So there's,
Oh, do they? Okay.
well, it turns out that in that game, there's a center of the board that's called the river,
Hmm.
and when you cross over the river, the pawn can start moving sideways.
Oh, okay.
So he can capture to the side if he's moving sideways. But
Oh,
uh,
what happened?
the knight, the pawn in front of the leftmost knight moved up twice,
Okay,
threatening the
I
bishop.
see. I didn't hear any noise that time.
I was probably talking or something.
Oh, well, I heard it before when you were talking.
It
Okay,
should
so
be.
right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Okay.
Psychedelic.
Yes. I don't know if the colors look different because it's a full screen, but I do enjoy the colors of this. All right, I guess the
Bishop's
bishop
retreating
is
all the way
moving
back
back. Yeah.
to the front of the king there. I think one of my buttons on my controller is getting a little funky.
Oh no.
Haven't hit it a few times here.
And that's the hardwired one, right?
No, um, I'm using my controllers from the Sears Super Video Arcade,
Okay.
which have plugs. I'm plugging them into my Intellivision 2,
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
which also has plugs. Just because the Intellivision 2, believe it or not, has some of the clearest output of the various Intellivisions I have. So if you're looking at this and thinking, man, these colors seem like they're bleeding a little bit, that's the best I've got. So
Oh, okay. Oh, and what was it about the Intellivision 2 that you guys didn't like? I thought I remember hearing on
the
the show that
controllers.
is the controllers. Okay.
They kind of rejiggered the controllers. The controllers are a little squattier and chunkier in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
The real problem is the original Intellivision controllers. The side buttons are little rubbery things, so when you shove them
Right.
in, they give.
Yeah.
And the Intellivision 2s are hard plastic.
Oh, okay.
It just like kills your fingers. Oh,
All
Pawn
right.
moves up one to attack threatening the knight there.
All right. We wait for the psychedelic light show.
Awesome.
Oh,
Move
and
the knight out of the way.
yep.
As you hear the click click of the disc, you know I'm using the original controllers.
Okay.
No emulation ever here.
No.
Or something crazy like that. You've got to set up with your emulator that you can plug in real
Yeah.
Atari joystick.
Yes, I'm using the joystick now actually. This game you don't really need a joystick, but
Right.
I just like the joystick. So okay.
Ooh, sound effects.
Television takes the pawn.
Takes the pawn with the knight there.
And there you go. Oh, you get a double click when you take a piece. Instead of one click.
I'm not sure I heard the click.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
I don't know if it's getting piped in or not.
No.
I had to do a weird setup of sound interfacing goofiness on my Mac to get the sound to come through. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So you moved or Atari moved its knight out.
The knight.
Now, do you know? We didn't say on the video, the live part that you said yours came out in '82.
According to Intellivision Live's website, it came out in '83.
Okay.
But the manual shows copyright 1982.
Okay, so maybe it was like early, like January, February, or something like that. They
Yeah, or maybe the
finished
print
it
run
in
was
'82.
82. Yeah, the box says 1982.
Okay.
All right, Intellivision's bringing out Bishop,
All right.
the kingside Bishop, out in front of the Queen. Yeah, I was reading about it. Intellivision was, trying to position itself as the high-end, sophisticated game platform.
Right.
And Mattel's marketing really thought that they needed a decent chess program to keep with that image, and so that was something that was kind of a high priority, but it took a while to get it made. You've got to move?
Yeah. What happened here now?
Oh, he castled. Am I right? Pop up your screen again. Talk a little bit.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. The king goes over to. Okay. So if you haven't learned much about chess,
Wait. What happened?
this is called castling. You move the king. So, let's take a moment.
Okay. Yeah.
At this point in the game, since neither the king nor the rook have yet moved,
Okay.
then you can do this special move where the king moves 2 squares towards the rook, and then the rook flips around onto the other side of the king.
Oh. Okay. All right.
It's a very strange move, in the sense of like, what is that going on? And in chess programs, to enter that, you always have to enter the king move first, because it won't be able to tell the difference between you're attempting to castle or just moving the rook.
Okay.
So I do this, and Intellivision's going to figure out that I
It's gonna
castled.
do it. Oh. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
It can only happen once per game, per user, of course.
Right. Right. Okay.
And it can only happen when the king is not in check. Also, the squares the king is moving through cannot be in check. So there's certain restricted conditions under which that's allowed to be. But basically, it's something towards the end of the opening that it allows you to protect your king a little bit and develop one of your rooks quickly.
Okay. So now we're waiting for the Intellivision.
Yep, here comes.
Now, oh, it's okay. Gotcha.
I'll bet it's going to do the same thing.
Look at that.
Yeah, so this is called kingside castling. So you have to move the king, not the rook,
Right.
when you enter it, and just move the king over 2 squares. I bet the Atari figures it out.
Look at that.
There
Okay.
That's how every chess program against every computerized chess program I've ever played with, handles castling.
Okay. And the Atari moves the rook over next to the queen, I guess.
Yep. Wow. This controller is not playing nice.
Oh no.
It is a plug-in controller, so if I have to, I can
Oh, you can switch it out.
control it real quick.
Okay.
Actually, I can use the other controller.
Really?
When you're playing against the computer, it'll let you use both controllers to move the pieces.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I think that's just because in the built-in exec, it just always reads both controllers.
Oh, okay, I see.
And so it's easy for the programmer to just say, was anything hit,
Hmm. I don't think you can do that on Atari.
I've been experimenting with some Intellivision programming myself, and I've got a routine right now that reads the controller, and you just apply a certain bit mask that that causes the data to come through, and it basically says, look, I don't care about the controller, just tell me what they pressed.
Oh, wow.
What did it do?
The rook.
Oh yeah, rook down behind the queen. One thing I don't like about the Intellivision implementation is once the move is made,
Mm-hmm.
nothing to tell you what happened.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess the
It's
Atari is good for that.
The Atari's at least flashing something.
Yeah. All right, and the bishop. Wait,
Yeah,
is that the bishop?
Got a corner there. Whoops. Hold on. It's saying you can't move it to the same spot.
What are you doing?
My controller having fun with me here.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm grabbing the other controller now.
Okay, okay.
It's already plugged in. I don't have to do anything. That rattling bang bang sound. Me getting the other controller.
Now, is yours a AK game?
Oh, see, I should have looked that up. I'll have to look that up.
Okay. All right. So the
knight.
Knight in the middle is moving over.
Ooh. Here's a chess term for you. He's forked the knight and the bishop.
Forked the knight and the bishop.
So he's threatening the knight that's over there on the left edge.
Okay.
But he's also threatening the bishop.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Same piece.
All right.
It's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Classic attack. So now the Atari's going to have to do something.
Yeah, the Atari takes the knight.
Ah. Well, in that sense, the fork was not all that effective since But of course, he's protected by the bishop behind him, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah.
Ew. Almost certainly the Intellivision is going to grab that as a trade.
Right.
All right, ignore sounds of typing things while I do a quick check for... Yep, he took it.
All right. Okie doke. Thinky thinky. And it takes the pawn. The knight takes the pawn.
Gotcha. Knight takes pawn and
Yes.
is threatening the queen.
Oh, yeah.
Threatening a queen, threatening a pawn, threatening another pawn. I don't think the pawns are the the big concern right now.
Right.
Let's see. So I'm not seeing anything about how big it is in the little write-up here,
Oh, okay.
but it is. It does it does talk about the history a little bit that they approved money to put 2K of RAM on the chess cartridge,
Oh, okay.
which is unusual.
Yeah.
I think it's the only cart that had RAM on board, as opposed to all the game data is usually in ROM, right? It's information.
Right.
It's in the read-only memories. So they had to add RAM to give the Intellivision extra area to store data and think,
Wow.
which was expensive.
I imagine, yeah.
So as I understand it, I think the chess cartridge was one of the most expensive for the system.
I think that's what, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's what special edition means on mine, that it's more expensive.
Got a little extra little RAM on the cart.
Well, it's 4K, and there weren't a lot of 4K games at that point. I think Backgammon was also special edition. Okay.
All
Who's
right.
that moving? The Queen?
Yeah, the queen came out and is just stopped right in front of we're just short of taking the bishop there.
All right. Is that unusual
What it's doing?
that it's not taking the bishop?
Um, well, the bishop, if you took the bishop, it would be immediately turned around and taken by the knight.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
So the bishop's protected at
Right.
the moment. But yeah, he wanted to get the queen out of harm's way there. The queen's too
Yeah.
valuable to goof around with.
All right. So your queen moves out, or my queen, Atari's queen.
Somebody's queen. All right. Okay.
Yeah, actually, another thing that was invented for chess was bank switching, which is switching between the two different programs to make a 8K game.
Yeah, two giant chunks, if you will,
Yes.
of a
Yeah,
program,
but
right?
they didn't actually use it. They did have some prototypes that were 8K, I guess, but they never actually used the bank switching in this game. They used it later on. So this was only 4K. I don't know if I mentioned this came out in '79, the
Wow.
Atari version.
Yeah, as I understand it, Mattel didn't have. I mean, chess theory is actually kind of a specialized thing, and Mattel didn't have anybody in house that was versant in chess theory,
Hmm.
so they actually contracted the chess algorithm out and just had somebody at Mattel write the graphics and the user input and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And apparently he did a lot of I mean, they just as you'd imagine, bugs and stuff. You're trying to fix this stuff, and they did a lot of testing on it. And the guy that was programming it, because he was doing all this testing with it, found that at the higher levels it thought forever, like just really thought a long time. So he added all these
Yeah.
features to make that nicer. Like you can set the mode, you can set into a mode that, okay, Intellivision, you're going to think for a while. Please sound a sound of some kind, like an alarm of sorts, when you're
Oh,
done, so that I can go do my dishes or whatever and come back when you
right.
finish your move.
Now that makes sense.
Like, and it was just because of all the relentless playing he was doing on it that he started adding these extra features that you wouldn't think of until you're actually playing it,
Right, right.
realizing what a pain it is.
So who was the programmer?
Let's find out as I switch over. The user interface was by Russ Ludwig. The
Oh, I
graphics
don't know
by
that one.
Dave James and Peggy DeCarly.
Okay.
And it sounds like it was Russ that did a lot of the testing, the Russ Ludwig.
All right.
So it says he added. There's a timeout feature, which maybe we'll hit here. It's thinking of quite a while.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a timeout feature where it'll blank the screen while it's thinking after a while
Oh, okay.
if you haven't done anything, and then you just come back and hit the disk and it wakes up and says, "Here's what I did" or whatever. And let's see what else. A feature that lets you switch to an easier level in the middle of the move. So basically, at any point here, I could change the thinking level of the Intellivision's algorithms.
Oh, wow.
So if you decided, if you tried this on level 4 or 5, and you're 3 moves in, and it's been 45 minutes, you're like, okay, I'm not into this. Ratchet down the skill,
Right.
and then of course they added some verbiage to the manual
Oh, okay.
to warn you about how
Yeah.
slow this thing might be.
Mhm.
All right, so that is the I believe it's the Queen's side bishop
Yep.
moved out a couple squares. Let's see here. So there's I actually have a little loose flyer that was in the manual.
Oh, okay.
It says USCF chess playing recommendation. When you play at the higher skill levels of computer versus computer and player versus computer, each computer move may take days to complete.
Holy cow.
Therefore, we recommend playing these at levels 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, the Atari has a similar, the top average turn is 10 hours, the highest level. But yeah,
Yeah,
why
Queens are
would you
getting
play
threatened
that?
here.
Oh, yeah.
Atari's coming out. And the Intellivision's queen is protected by the bishop behind it, though. So I'm not sure what. Of course, the Atari's queen is protected by 2 pawns and a rook. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Not sure who's got the better deal here. Intellivision's got a rook there at the baseline protecting the queen also. Yeah, one of the modes that Intellivision chess has is literally just think forever, and I'll tell you. I think they call it. I think it's level 7. Let me find it in the manual here. Level 7, the computer continually looks for a better move till you force it to move.
Wow.
So you could really just let this sucker run.
Yeah.
Although I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but certainly not on the screencast or anything. But there was a guy who was posting to the Intellivision programming list, I don't know, weeks, months ago,
Hmm.
and he was trying to play chess on all of his levels, one at a time. And I think he was up on level 6, and it got some distance into the game, and it just crashed.
The game crashed?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And he was like, "Is this like a known thing?" And he said he tried it again, and it crashed again, like about at the same spot, like that
Really?
moves that many moves into the game or whatever.
Huh.
So there may be some ugliness hidden up at level 6. I don't
I
know.
guess. Then you have another level after that, you said, right? Level 7? That's the highest
That's
one?
that's the think forever level. I don't know if that. Who knows? Maybe it suffers from the same problem. I don't know.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, I'm kind of interested to know. You said it's a 4K cart.
Yes.
I don't. I wonder if they ended up if some of that 4K was segmented off as RAM because you have to store state, right? When you're doing the computer algorithm as it's thinking, it's storing pieces of information so that the next time it goes through the next search, it knows what it's looked at already, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And the Intellivision, Mattel decided they needed RAM on the cart to make that happen. So
Right.
while it's probably 8K or something like that, it's got an extra 2K of RAM actually there to help with that storage.
All right. So the
All right,
queen
so
is moving
queen backed
back.
off a couple squares. I can pop over here on my system and just take a quick look at the file size.
Yeah, you say it has 2K of RAM. I don't think the Atari even had the whole Atari itself had 2K of
Right,
RAM. I think it was
right.
128 bytes or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm showing, again, this doesn't mean anything about the cart, unfortunately. My file sizes on my Mac showed it about 16K,
Oh, wow. Okay.
but I don't think that means that it's a 16K ROM, though. All
Okay. Right, right.
right, so what? Moved Queen up 1.
Queen one, yeah. Yeah, I think we talked about that before, that the Mac makes all my 2K games 4K automatically. Different file size.
Yeah. I'm honestly not sure where to go to look that up.
The file size?
Yeah, or like the actual ROM size.
That's what I was thinking, that the Atari has so many, we may have discussed this too. There's so many options to, for like I have a list of the file sizes of all the games that's available, and there's so many different websites that have um, like manual scans and HTML printed manuals and
Yeah,
all the different variants and stuff, but I don't think the other systems have that.
there's some. There are definitely some Intellivision resources. Um, Keith Robinson's site, IntellivisionLives.com, has lots of neat anecdotal type
It
info,
does, yeah, yeah.
but it's not necessarily going to list out 8K, 2K,
Right, right.
card by card by card or whatever. And there's an Intellivision.us site that is run by just one of the people in the community.
Hmm.
Pretty active guy in the community. He's put out some cards himself actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he has a wiki that he hosts there. So I think some of that information may be in there, but it's actually the wiki is usually it's slanted a little more towards the programmer community than it is the hobbyist community.
Oh, I got you.
Seems like the Intellivision's thinking a little more than the Atari at this point.
Yeah.
All right, here it goes.
Okay.
Pawn up twice, threatening the queen. Take that, Atari. Did
Okay,
you
so
see
the
something funny?
queen moves over to the right
Oh yeah, just the queen in front of.
one space.
Yeah, the Intellivision is big and bold about things. It's telling you it's white's move. They're at the top of the screen,
Oh, yeah.
and it shows you the pieces that were taken off the board and clocks ticking down.
I like that though. I mean, the Atari looks so boring in comparison.
Very sparse at the Atari,
Yes.
but they're doing the best they can just to keep that beam going.
Yes.
I heard somebody, we were doing an interview for the Intellivisionaries, and I'm not sure if this stuff made it to air, so I won't even mention who it was, but he was talking about how he had done programming for both Intellivision and Atari,
Hmm.
and he said that he just preferred programming on the Intellivision so much more. He says, because you could do some pretty cool things on the Atari, but you're always like being forced to stand on your head the whole time.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, they were a little bit forward thinking, but I guess not forward thinking enough when they had originally did the console.
Yeah, well, they were like mid 70s,
Yeah.
designing
Yeah, I
and
think
stuff.
they
I mean, the
started
Intellivision,
developing in 75.
yeah, I mean, the Intellivision had the Atari to look at and improve on.
Yeah. Did it? Did they start after? I thought it
Oh,
came
yeah.
out in 78.
It was test marketed in 78 and 79. I think it was nationwide by 1980.
Oh, okay. I thought it was earlier than that.
Queen is up two there, threatening the other queen. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that at this point,
Oops.
Atari was out there making some money. Now I'm not sure if Atari was making the money hand over fist like they were when
Not
Space
yet.
Invaders hit and stuff like that.
No, that was another year.
But I think that the execs at Mattel realized there's a buck to be made here. Let's get on this thing.
Okay, yeah.
But it was a response, I'm pretty sure, to the Atari. All right, what have we got?
Oh, sorry, the queen moved up to the left. Diagonal.
That's funny. Yeah, you chess newbie.
What's that?
I don't think that is up to the left. I think that is back because the queen
Oh, back and to the left.
back and to the left yet again. We had that last time.
I think we did.
How long has it been since you've seen that movie?
I think it's got to be at least 15, 16 years.
Yeah, it's been years for me too.
Yeah.
It made a mark. It made an impression though.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
One of my favorite. I mean, there's important scenes and there's less important scenes.
Hmm.
in that movie. One of my favorites is John Candy, and he's like whispering across the table because he doesn't want to get caught by anybody. Kennedy's as dead as his crab meat.
Oh, he's so good.
He said nothing you could do is going to bring him back.
Yeah. Orange whip.
Somebody out there, actually, some young person doesn't know what we're talking about.
Right, right.
Oliver Stone's movie JFK.
Yeah. Seek it out.
You young kids, go rent a movie.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you stream them or torrent them or whatever you do.
Well, there's not.
I went to a video store like respectable people.
That's right. You have any by you anymore? Any video stores?
No.
No.
Not that I know of, anyway.
Yeah.
The last chain around here was Family Video, and they had a deal where I think just every like kids video was free.
Oh, really?
So they would classify a children's video, Care Bears Christmas or
Right.
all these kind of low rent titles. If they classified it as a children's video, you could just rent those for free.
That's cool.
That was what they were trying to get into the market. I think is kind of a hook or whatever.
Okay, so I think this one
Yep.
moved forward one.
Putting pressure on Atari's Queen.
Yep.
You see, the Atari can't take with the Queen. Okay, what's Atari doing?
Oh, the Atari moved back with the Queen back, right?
Back, yeah. Because if the Queen were to grab that pawn, of course, it'd be taken out by the White Queen right across there.
Oh, okay, I see. Yep.
But yeah, Family Video, they were, like I said, they were the last chain around here, and they were really trying to do it like low friction. To sign up with them, you just gave them your phone number.
Yeah.
And
I think everybody was like that towards the end.
yeah. I remember filling out these crazy forms and stuff, for
$100 deposit.
I don't remember that, but that's
yeah.
But yeah, there was a Hollywood Video, I think.
Hollywood, yeah.
That was over here that they went under several years ago now, but
Yeah.
they were kind of more the higher end.
Yeah, we had Palmer Video. That was where we had to pay the $100 deposit.
Wow.
Yeah, just that's how much they were at that point.
Right, yeah.
The videotapes.
I remember, and this is good. I'm embarrassed to say this, but Star Trek V, which I now loathe as a movie,
Okay.
but was the newest Star Trek that had just come out, and I had bought on cassette the first 4, and so 5 was out in the video store, and I actually asked the clerk, like, what would it take to actually buy a copy of 5?
Oh,
That I just
yeah.
rented, because I knew I was going to buy one eventually.
Right.
And I think he quoted me a price of like $90
Yeah. Yep.
to buy it because that's what they were charging. They were charged, He says, we're not a retail outfit. I could sell it to you for what I can replace it for.
Yeah.
And that's when I went, wow, I was expecting to pay $30,
Yeah.
And of course now, you almost need to be have a stiff drink in your hand to get through Star Trek V. So
Which one is that?
that's the one where it's terrible. It's the one where they go to the center of the universe and find a godlike creature that with Spock's brother, half brother or whatever is taking pain. It's awful.
I don't know if I saw that. It sounds familiar, Spock's brother, but
Yeah,
the one with the whale sticks out to me.
yeah, that's 4.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the Star Trek curse, the Star Trek
Is it-
movie numbers.
Is it every other one?
Yeah. Every
The
all
odd
the
number
odd ones are terrible.
Yeah.
All the even ones are reasonably good. Although I think it even got worse towards the end when the Next Generation crew was doing stuff. I'm not sure
Yeah.
they had many good ones at all.
I didn't see any of those. I still have to see Khan. I haven't seen that one yet.
Star Trek 2?
Yeah.
Okay, the Ricardo Montalban, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
Really good. I mean, it's basically Das Boot in space. It's like
Okay.
battles and stuff. But it's well written, and Khan is a good villain. And All right, here we go.
Bishop.
Quick move by the bishop.
Yeah.
I was really interested in Star Trek for quite a while there, and then something happened. I got a little soured on what I consider kind of more mainstream science fiction.
Hmm.
And I'm sure that just makes me some crazy hipster snob or something. All right, we got the bishop moving now.
Bishop moved a short move too.
And then, of course, now it seems like every movie has to be turned into an action film.
Right.
And that's just not my thing. I'm not an action film guy. I like the slow-paced, meditative, make you think kind of movies.
Yeah.
They're not making many of those anymore.
No, that's too. Yeah, that's too bad. You have to really search them out.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
mean,
like the new
there's a
Star
lot of the
Trek?
smaller independents. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, did you like the new Star Trek movie? The first one.
I saw the first one. I didn't hate it.
Okay.
There were definitely parts of it where I was like, okay, here we are. Um, because I think the first scene that really kind of took me out of it was when somehow and I don't remember even the plot of the movie now, but Kirk is running along an ice world away from some big monster that's got this gaping maw that's got like 5 jaws or something weird like that. And I thought, oh, that looks something more like you'd see in Star Wars. This
Oh yeah,
bizarre
yeah.
CG animal thing chasing him down.
Right.
And that kind of took me out of the moment for a bit. It really felt like, again, an action flick. But I remember thinking, well, okay, they at least it felt like a Star Trek film more so an action film, but still.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the second one
I
yet.
haven't either. I've heard terrible, terrible things about it.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I think I only saw people who liked it chatting about it on Twitter, but that may have been females that like Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Television is definitely thinking longer. I
Yeah.
don't think that means thinking deeper, but I don't know.
Right.
Let's put 10 more minutes into its thought time so far, you can see from
Yeah.
those signatures there. Time signatures. It's hard to make these, it's hard to give these two systems like, get them actually equal with each other in terms of thinking time.
I wasn't
All right.
expecting that.
Bringing up some support from the rear there with the knight. He's threatening the black knight,
Right.
which is protecting the black bishop. Oh, quick move.
What's happening here?
Oh, he has
Oh.
moved. He's taken the bishop, and the Intellivision's king is in check.
Okay. That was an annoying noise. I don't know if you heard that or not.
No, I didn't. No. See, now, television tells you in a big word, check.
Yes. I
The
get the
Atari,
annoying noise and everything is blinking.
the Atari flipped the king over a couple times.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Intellivision took the bishop
took
with a
the
pawn.
bishop.
Had enough of that.
Yeah. All right.
I thought that was interesting, though. So the Atari made some kind of funky sound when it
Yeah, I
ejected.
just like beep, 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 beep.
Uh,
Like that Mac commercial. Beep, 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 beep.
retreating
Yes, the knight is going back.
which causes it, of course, now to be threatening the bishop.
Yeah.
Now you can see on the television screen that the pieces taken are even,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that.
and it's even drawing them the same. I think it has an order it tries to draw them in, so things shuffle around as you get different pieces get taken. My 5-year-old didn't like that. He
What's
thought
that?
that the black pieces should be shown at the top of the screen, where the black player would be sitting. That's
Oh, I see. Okay.
He didn't want them both in the bottom like that. He's very exacting about these kind of things.
Yeah. So we have 24 moves so far.
Yes, and the and the way those moves are counted, it's counted in the way regular chess counts. Move and response is one move.
Oh, okay. I see.
24 moves by white with 24 removes by black
Okay.
in response. At least I think that's what's going on. Either that or this white is the 24th move. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's probably true. It's probably this is the 24th move.
Okay.
I would guess. Of course, if it ratchets to 25 next on the very next thing, we'll know.
Right.
Oh,
All right. Queen.
I'm glad you saw that.
So it was two spaces and right there. Okay.
Yep.
Now
So
we're
how far ahead
thinking.
do you plan the games you're going to do on your podcast?
Um.
Oh, they're back.
Okay. Let's. Oh, who was that?
Queen, cat corner one.
Queen moved one spot. Yeah. Right now, I have a list up to episode 80 something, I think.
There's a game I'm waiting for you to do.
Which one?
Gopher.
Gopher. Let's see. That is what
I
is
don't
it?
even know who
U.S.
made it.
games, I think. I think it's U.S. games.
My cousin had Gopher,
Oh yeah.
and we played that a good bit. So when you finally get to that, I'm probably going to submit something for the show.
Cool. That's great.
I don't have many memories of Atari. We played Atari at my
Yeah.
cousin's house, but I mean, I probably have the same memories that most kids have. We played a lot of River Raid, we played a lot of Space Invaders, we played a lot of
Yep.
Asteroids,
Yep.
played Adventure. But I thought Gopher's probably one he's not going to get a lot of submissions on.
No. Yeah. Probably not.
So I
I
could
think
bring
every game though has, it's one person's favorite game. So,
right, right. I figure I could bring
or at
something
least,
on Gopher,
yeah.
and I'll bring this up, I'm sure, when I record a little segment for your show. But we were at a family reunion a couple years ago, and I had a laptop with all these emulation stuff on it, and I pull it up, and I go and check it out, and he looks at it and goes, I don't even know what this is.
Oh.
We played this at your house.
Oh.
He's like, sure, I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, he recognized the Atari, of course. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad.
and Gopher didn't have a lot of deep gameplay, but still.
No, no. All right, so the rook.
Rook over one.
Yeah, so my list goes up to 84, and so far it's not on there. It might be a while. Oh boy. Check again.
All right, so what moved? Oh, the rook took the rook. Big move.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Big move and check. I've noticed this that when you put I don't know if it happens every time or if it's some weird glitchy thing, but you put the computer in check or you cause a check and it doesn't go pew.
Oh, okay.
We don't get the full sound effect there. Can Intellivision get out of it? Oh, of course it can.
Oh, yeah.
I should have seen that. I'm not paying close attention to the board.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. I thought the king
course,
was going to have to move out of the way. I was like, where's the king going to go?
of course the rook's sitting there waiting.
Yep. Yeah, the Atari doesn't seem. Okay, can you hear this?
Yes, I hear that time.
Okay.
So he
So that was the queen.
okay, brought the queen diagonally
Queen
down
took the pawn.
and puts the king in check.
Yeah,
Atari's
that is weird. So I guess. Oh, there you go.
queen blocks.
Yeah.
And that queen is, protected by the rook that's down there at the baseline.
Right.
The black queen is threatening the bishop there, but the bishop is covered by the knight below.
And the black knight took the pawn to the right.
Okay.
You see it?
Yep.
Okay.
And he's also attacking the queen.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's our pew sound effect.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at that, is it maybe this is just the Venetian blind technique, but are the white pieces on off lines from the red pieces?
Yes, they are.
Up, queen took queen.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's a sacrifice. I mean, the queen's going to get retaken.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that. You're right. They are on off lines.
That may have made it simpler to program. When you're on these lines, you're drawing this.
But the colors too, you think? Or
We would have to know the colors as well as the positions of all the pieces it's drawing on that pass, I would guess.
okay.
But I honestly don't know if it's simpler. Just
Right.
oh wait, what did it
So
do?
the king moved over one.
Ah, why is that? He must see a mate coming. Because right now I'm sorry, I'll move the king over.
Okay.
I'm analyzing the board. Right now, the Intellivision could drop its rook straight back, and I'm not sure that the Atari could do anything about it. So you move the king one to the
One
left.
to the left, yeah.
This gives him an escape route. No, it puts him in a place where if the Intellivision chooses that move, then he could take the rook. I think the way it was, if the Intellivision chose to jump down there, it would have been checkmate because I don't see how the Atari could have stopped it at that point. Is that making any sense?
No, well, couldn't the king just take the?
He
Oh,
can't do
you're
that.
saying if the king didn't move?
Right. We were
Okay.
puzzling. Why did it move the king when it
Right.
could have taken the queen with the knight? I think if it had taken the queen with the knight, it would have been game over.
Okay, I got you.
And of course, the queen is getting the
Queen.
hard way.
All right. Yeah, the Atari doesn't seem to be thinking extra hard. I don't know if I said that already.
Hmm. It's definitely thinking shorter time periods than the television is.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a rematch.
Yeah. All right, so the knight moved up to the right.
Retreating back.
Or back, sorry.
I don't know what that's about, honestly. Because it seems like to me, again, the Atari would have to kind of cooperate, but if the Intellivision took two moves and moved its queen to that back flank, it'd be checkmate
Yeah,
if the Atari didn't do something to head it off.
right.
So I don't know why it moved that knight. Then again, I don't win awards for analyzing chess positions. So. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Well, bringing the knight into play, but he blocked the rook from participating in some kind of quick checkmate move down there. So
Okay.
maybe it's got something else up its sleeve.
And the king moved forward.
Yeah, he's getting himself out of that hole.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when we cover board games on our podcast, we'll talk about chess.
Yeah.
Intellivision. It's one of the few games. There's a handful of games that have different overlays for the two controllers. Like the two controllers are actually serving different functions
Oh, okay.
than, say, your typical game would just have player one, player two, and they both do the same things.
Mm-hmm.
Controllers to do the same things in the game. But this one, if you're playing against the computer, it wants to let you use either controller to control it, but it also has more things it wants to let you do.
Okay.
So the left controller has buttons about pick the skill level and pick whether it's player versus computer or player or computer
Right.
or stuff like that. And the right controller has stuff about setting up custom layouts, like if you wanted to use your Intellivision to solve a particular chess end game or something like that.
Oh, yes, yes.
You could put the pieces in place, and it allows you to retract moves if you made a mistake. Those functions are on the right controller.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if I assume this might have been fixed in a later print run, but my version has a problem with the overlays. They're drawn wrongly.
What do you mean by that? Oh, check.
See the... Yeah, that's called a revealed check, by the way. A discovered check. The knight just moved out of the way, which causes the king to be in check by the rook at the bottom of the screen there. But yeah, oh, Atari, what's it doing?
Atari moved down
Oh, yeah,
or
king's
forward
horrible.
to the right.
Threatening the knight a little bit.
Yep.
Although not really. The queen's there. I guess it can't be really threatening the knight. But yeah, I've got a notice in my copy that the overlays were printed. They have like the chess pieces are all on the overlay.
Okay.
On the buttons 1 through 6, because if you're doing pawn promotion, you can pick which piece to use.
Oh, okay.
Plus, if you were setting up the board, you would want to be able to control which piece to set down.
Right.
But apparently the king and the queen are transposed on my copy.
Oh, I see.
I think only on the right overlay, which is strange.
So there was a fixed version of that?
I'm guessing in later print runs they must have fixed that, but I don't know that for sure. But they had this little errata thing that showed up in the paperwork. And I'm looking at it, and the left and right controllers are different in the arrangement of those pieces. Like on one of them, the king and queen are in one way, and on the other one, the king and queen the other way. And I think one of them is correct and the other one's wrong.
Oh.
It's a little weird. And that may have been, I was having trouble with this earlier in the week, and it may have been that I had the wrong overlay, and I didn't know that. And I was trying to promote my pawn to a king, maybe.
Right.
Which would not have been allowed. Television is thinking hard. It wants to end this puppy. Yeah, so I'm not very good at chess, but I've done some reading on it. Definitely been playing it since, pre-high school. But not like seriously in any point in life. I but I have read some chess tactics and chess theory books just to get a better feel for what's going on. But what I really need to do is play like 300 more games of chess, and then I'd probably be a lot better.
Oh, I see.
I just have to put the time in, and I just haven't been doing it.
Do you have you mean on the computer or like an actual check?
Either way would work, I think.
Yeah.
The You saw what moved? I didn't see it.
Yes. The
Sorry.
rook down the bottom moved to the right.
Oh, yeah, Rook's
Check the
lining
king.
up the king there.
So can the king go anywhere? Oh yeah, I guess right there. To the right.
And by the way, that is the point, is to make it so the king can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Darren Brown?
I don't recognize the name.
Okay. He's the guy that does like British guy and does like suggestion and stuff like that. And he had a bunch of chess masters in a room, and he played against all of them
All
at
of
the
them at
same
once.
time.
Yes, I know
And,
this trick.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Now that I'm looking at this a little closer, it's not white versus, non-white, or are they tan? Are they orange? I don't know what their pieces are on the Atari.
Oh,
But if you look, looks like the king and the knight right next to each other are off lines from each other.
oh, are they? Yeah, yeah, you're right.
So it must not be white versus the
Hmm.
other side, like I was thinking earlier.
It looks like it's every other square, or every the squares next to each other, because
Yeah,
the
the pawns
pawns are lining up that way.
like,
Hmm.
seems like something about the Venetian blind technique that we could learn.
Yeah.
But you're talking about him playing
Oh,
with
that's right. Yes. Yeah.
pawns.
He actually won. I think it might have been 12 people or 11. I can't remember how many people there were, but he beat them all, and or most of them at any rate. And he reveals later that he was playing each one of them against each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
he must have won half.
it was at half.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
because
So
he's really playing them against each other.
yeah.
So half of
Yeah.
them will win, half of them will lose.
Right. I just don't know how you could keep all that stuff in your head at one time.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Is because if you're off by one move,
Yeah.
then you're out in the weeds.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a guy I listen to some podcasts he's on. His name is Brian Brushwood. Have you ever heard of him?
No. No.
He is like a magician, and also he's very much into podcasting and stuff. He's on several podcasts and
No.
technology and stuff like that. But he has a series called Scam School. And
Oh. Okay.
he teaches you to do. He basically, the way he describes the show is that go into bars and do these tricks, and bet your friends, and they'll have to buy you drinks, basically. So it's always these like bar bet kind of tricks and stuff. But
Right.
he did a thing on chess one time.
Oh,
Okay, knight goes forward and
takes
takes out the
pawn.
left of those three pawns. And
Right.
he actually, I think he tried it against 6 or 7, or maybe he had one of the chess people try it.
Mm-hmm.
Like his question was, is this feasible? Like, can you actually do this? Keep it all in your head. And I think he got into like a rhythm. Like there was something about your mind adapts to it. Like if you practice it, it's definitely something you could do.
Wow.
Was what he kind of determined.
Okay. So the knight takes the knight.
Knight takes the knight. And that was the centerpiece of some movie. And it might have been a movie of the week, or it might have been a Hollywood movie. I don't know, but it was some movie where It's con artists,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on some luxury liner boat thing with two international chess champions, and the chess champions are going to a place to be in some publicized tournament. Up,
Oh,
queen takes
check.
queen takes knight and gives check to the king. King's got to run. There's not much he can do
Yeah.
here. Oh, it's over to the side.
Moves to the right. Yeah.
Let's see. That's not quite the only square he had to go to, but he doesn't have many.
We couldn't move to the left because of the rook, right? And then
Correct. He could have gone down a square,
yeah.
or he could have gone where he went. But in this movie, this girl who's part of like this whatever the scamming team, and again, I have vague memories of this, so someone's watching this going, "You dummy, it was like this." Uh, but but she basically does that trick on these two chess masters. She says, "I want to play you both at the same time.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
bet some big amount of money that I can beat you both, or something
Right.
stupid like that." And, let's see, what did
The bishop moved up one or ahead one.
okay, not a big bold move, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rules were they had to be in separate rooms. No one was allowed to cross between the rooms. The
Right.
passengers that were watching the event, they could only watch one of the two games, and then she was actually playing them against each other the whole time.
That's cool. Okay, so the pawn next to the white queen moved forward one.
Forward one. That seems strange to me. Seems like you're boxing your king in.
Is that like to sacrifice pawns or
Well, the queen's not going to take that pawn because it'd be a suicide mission with the king right there.
right?
I don't, and the king can't move into the square where the pawn was as a retreat move because the queen's standing there. I don't know why he moved the pawn.
All right. Queen moves back.
Queen back corner and check.
Oh, what did I do?
I said back corner, back
Yeah.
back. I want to say rank. I always mix up rank and file in these things.
Okay, so the king moves.
King's on the run.
Yeah.
From my perspective, it seems like Atari might be on the ropes here. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Atari hasn't developed either the bishop or the rook that are just sitting back there in the back row.
Yeah. If they had the bishop out, well, I guess the queen wouldn't have gone back there if the bishop was out.
Yeah, just I think that I think it's hurting because of that right now.
Yeah.
Bring
Rook.
the rook over to threaten that bishop we were just talking about.
Yeah. Can the bishop move over the pawns?
No, that bishop's blocked.
Okay.
You can't move at all.
Okay, so the leftmost pawn moved one forward.
I think he's going to take the bishop with the rook. Then the rook will have no choice.
Right.
I think. I don't know. Maybe he's got something else going on. I don't know. Because then if the rook takes back, he takes the rook, and that's pretty much done. I mean, the Atari doesn't have much left at that point.
Yeah.
Of course, the rook could run instead. Nope, he's doing something else.
Hmm.
Queen moved over,
Right next to the bishop.
posing up next to the bishop there. And, oh, and check, of course. I didn't pay attention to that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what did I do? And this. Okay.
Psychedelic colors of the Atari.
Yeah. And the king moves over one.
This is probably reveals something about my lack of good chess play, but part of me would want to take out that bishop and rook and just whittle the Atari down to nothing,
Oh.
which probably is a dumb move. What you're probably supposed to do is concentrate more on checkmating the king.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Took out the bishop like I thought I might do a move ago.
Okay. Now the black rook will take the white one, probably.
Maybe.
Yep.
If he does, he'll. Yeah. Okay.
He took it.
He's just going to get beat on the next one. So.
Yeah.
The queen's got to take it. The queen's being threatened right now.
Yeah.
Unless the queen wants to run and put the king in check again or something. It seems like it's a no-brainer to take the rook. So you're doing chess this week?
Yeah, chess and code breaker and flag capture.
So how do you? Oh, there you go. Took the rook as we guessed. So how do you make the decision about how to combine?
I wanted Pac-Man to have its own show, and that's right after chess.
Ah, that makes sense.
That's why. Yeah.
It's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at creative ways of combining some of these games. Like, we're not going to do a whole podcast on just chess.
Right, right.
Oh,
Your pawn moved.
pawn took a
The
pawn.
target pawn. Yeah.
I think we're likely to group several of these board type strategy games into one podcast.
Right, right. So you have the let's see, you got checkers, chess, reversey, backgammon. Is there another one?
Those are the four you typically see because they kind of separate them out from. There's Royal Dealer, which is a card game.
Right, yeah.
There's roulette and there's poker and blackjack, which are kind of viewed as the cards and gambling kind of games.
Gambling games, yeah.
So yeah, we're looking at ways of trying to reasonably combine. Like we put the three baseball games in one podcast because that's
Yeah.
sense. And there are lots of sports titles in the Intellivision that are like that. You've got a two-player version that came out early in the life cycle, and then a improved version that came out late in the cycle.
Oh, okay. Like football and.
Yeah. There's actually three versions of football now because there was a homebrew release of a mostly finished but not released Super NFL football game.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, that got released just a year or two ago. I have yet to really put it through any paces and see how good it is, but
yeah.
So there's I'm sorry.
Did you guys already record this month?
Yes.
You did?
Paul is editing right now.
Oh, okay.
He hopes for the week.
Sea Battle, right?
Sea Battle, yes.
Yeah. Oh, don't like Sea Battle.
You'll have to hear to find. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course we talk about it a good deal. It's definitely a fun little game. Me and some guys at work played several rounds of it. But it's also kind of like a quintessential. It definitely feels like old Intellivision game, like early Intellivision game. It has that feel of strategy / sort of board game converted to computer game.
Okay.
It's still like I enjoyed it. I played it a lot with my brother when we were small.
Yeah. And that's only two-player only, I think, right?
2 player only. Yep.
Yeah.
But the sneak preview on my rating of it was that I didn't. Basically, my ratings have turned into either it's in my top 10 or it's not in my top 10.
Oh, okay.
We decided early on we weren't going to like try to rate them. This is a C plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so we've been just kind of like we get to the end of it. It's like, how do you feel about it? And
Right.
my feelings on it were kind of like, yeah, not my top 10. Might play it again someday, but probably won't.
Yeah.
May have been sea battled out already.
Oh, yeah. This is taking a while this time.
Yeah,
It seems to be.
maybe pushing that. I had found level 3. Rarely took more than a minute on average,
Right.
and we may be getting at the high end of the far right of that bell curve in
Yeah. Yeah.
terms of the pushing the average out. It just knows it knows it can checkmate you if it just works hard enough. It's
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah.
it's gonna
Oh, what happened?
come. No, I think your thing just came forward. Oh, I know what happened. That's the screensaver kicks in because
Oh, okay.
4 minutes or something crazy like that. So that's been taking a while. Just had to wake it up again. I think it thinks the whole time it's blank. I think it doesn't just like stop.
Okay.
The whole point of this was that, you know, it was taking a long time to make moves, and so the programmer thought it'd be a good idea to blank the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I can make the clocks disappear. I'm looking at the manual here if I want to.
Oh, really?
We'll leave them up there. Why not?
Yeah. It's actually helpful for me to know whose turn it is.
I can also force a move. If we think this is being unfair to the poor Atari by letting the Intellivision think all this time, it has a choice to say, I don't care what you're thinking about. Stop your thinking and move right now. Because this is a good bit longer than.
Yeah. I think maybe the difficulties are uh, little off.
Yeah, we had that problem with both the other games actually.
Yeah.
Because you said
If I tried 4 against your 3.
Othello doesn't even move look ahead. It's just about patterns.
Right. Right.
And of course, the Intellivision was thinking ahead. And then checkers, um, just because we had the Intellivision on its hardest level, but the Atari bumping it up to its hardest level really made it think a long time.
Yeah.
So we decided just that wasn't going to be fun to watch. You can make an argument this part's not that fun to watch. It's all day long.
It's been at least 4 minutes, right?
I think I wasn't paying attention to the. I don't know if it's 4 minutes is like a hardline thing in the manual or. Let's see here. It says after about 4 minutes,
Okay.
the screen automatically goes blank. It says if the screen goes blank on the computer's move, you can wait until you hear a gong, and the screen automatically comes back when the computer has a move to play. So there was only the one chess game for Atari.
Yes, just the one.
And was that made by Atari?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this was kind of a strange era. We talked earlier about how the marketing department of Mattel thought it important that there be a chess program available
Right.
for the Intellivision, and obviously Atari thought they should have one too.
Well, actually,
Thought of it first.
yeah. The thing with that is the story is that there was a chess piece on the original Atari VCS box, but there was no
Oh,
chess game. So there
oh,
was apparently a lawsuit from somebody in Florida, and that's why They made the chess game, but apparently the programmer, Liar Wagner, says that wasn't the case.
Oh, so it's just like a rumor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
we finally have
here
a
we
move
go.
here. Took out a pawn.
All right.
Some kind of a urban legend.
Yeah, there are quite a few of those with the Atari.
Certainly can. The Atari seems like it would have a lot of those.
Yeah, one coming up this week, the whole Alamogordo dig.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Are they ready to start digging?
Yeah, I think Saturday. Okay, the king moved back and to the left.
Once again,
Yeah.
JFK move.
Mm-hmm.
Back into the left. And I say JFK in the sense of the movie title. I'm not trying to desecrate
Right.
our former president.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't. I saw there was some. Was there a contest or was there something? I saw some website had posted. Would you like to be there? Like,
I think you could just go. I don't think it was a contest. I think that was the retros you were thinking of.
It might be the retros. Yeah, I follow
Yeah,
that.
they put it on there. I didn't actually read that, but I think you could just show up and watch.
Yeah,
I know Howard Scott Warshaw is supposed to be there.
yeah, I think I saw that.
Hmm.
I'm sure you're aware of there's a web page about fixing ET.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, have you played that ROM?
I have not yet. No,
Yeah,
no.
I downloaded it. I think I goofed around with it a little bit. I never played the original ET enough to understand, read the manual and understand the goals and stuff like that. So I
Right,
couldn't.
right.
I know the new one. I'm not falling in pits all the time. So
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but it was recent. I think it might have been No Quarter. They were talking about a game that was that you fell into pits a lot, and they were all like, "Oh, this is a great game," and like, well, it's the same thing that everybody complains about ET. I can't remember what there's. I listen to so many podcasts that talk about so many different games, and I can't
yeah,
remember from
yeah.
podcast to podcast.
I listened to mainly like it was funny because there was I think the episode. Okay, come on, pull the name out of my brain. The Retro League.
Yes.
I think when we had just started and put out an episode, they mentioned us,
Hmm.
and of course that got around to being like, oh, I better check these guys out if they're talking about us. And they had said, well, one thing they said was they weren't sure that is there enough to talk about the Intellivision. Like,
Oh,
they said it's not a long podcast. I think they're going to run out of stuff to say.
yeah. 6 hours later.
We haven't had that problem yet.
No, there's plenty to talk about.
Yeah. I had something else in my head I was going to say there, and I forget now. It's getting late, and my brain's starting to shut down.
Yeah, do you want to force it or?
Nah, we're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. It's got to be near the end here.
Yeah, I imagine.
I'm hoping anyway. Oh, now I remember what he said.
Okay.
He mentioned that it was kind of cool to see the Intellivisionaries as a thing because he thought it was cool to have another pre-crash video game system represented with a podcast.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I thought, oh, yeah, that is kind of cool. I mean, for
Yep.
me, that's the only system I collect for and that I
Right.
really know much about. So if I was doing a podcast, it'd have to be that or nothing. So
Yeah, that's the same thing with me.
So, but yeah, I thought, yeah, I guess there really aren't. I mean, we look at the history of video game systems and how many people out there might be talking about video gaming. There's probably a very small number of people that are in the pre-crash type
Hmm.
system. So that was kind of gratifying, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people that do podcasts think that video games started with the NES.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you blanked out again.
it gets a little weird, a little frustrating from us old people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I know. I saw there's a T-shirt. There's 1,000 T-shirts with everything on them, but
Right.
some T-shirt and more or less famous, I guess, says "Know Your Roots" and it shows an NES controller.
Yes, exactly.
I thought, what the?
Yeah.
I was dating my wife when the NES came out. By the time I bought an NES, I mean, I waited a long time. I mean, I was on computer gaming when the NES came out.
Yeah.
I was on my Commodore 64 and stuff. So by the time I thought it not a frivolous thing, this NES looks like it's got legs. It was probably 89 or something, um, or maybe later. Might have been
Yeah.
90, 91. Before I actually bought an NES.
Oh, okay.
I was very, very late in the cycle and um, borrowed some of the classic or more classic carts from people who had already played them through a dozen times and stuff like that.
Yeah. I like the NES, but if I play anything, I usually play I'll go back to the 2600 first.
Yeah, my video gaming system here is an Intellivision, go figure,
Yeah.
um, and an Ouya.
Oh, okay. Do you emulate a lot on the Ouya?
I have a handful of emulators installed on it, and I'm still kind of trying to be motivated to go down here and actually dig into something.
Oh, okay.
I keep telling myself that I'm gonna pick some, highly rated, everybody has to play this Super Nintendo game and
Right.
jump in and really give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And then I give them 5 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
um, all right, finally got a
Oh,
move.
here we go.
What's it
Bishop
doing?
moves one.
Oh, the bishop moved forward, I guess. Well, actually, in this case, back, but he put
Okay.
himself in he put himself in harm's way, so sort of. He can be captured by that pawn there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But then if the pawn does that, the
Queen will
queen
take
will
the
take the
pawn.
pawn and the king will be in check.
Oh,
I'm not sure that's
they move the pawn on the other side.
all right.
That's
I think we're heading into the long end game here.
yes.
A lot about all its moves. But yeah, so I'm trying to get motivated to do a little more Ouya playing, and I also have an old Wii down here.
Okay.
We our original Wii broke, the drive on it broke, so it wouldn't
Yes.
have any discs anymore. And I think I looked into it. It was going to be like $80 to replace the drive, and
Okay.
buy a used Wii for like 50.
Right, exactly.
um,
Or a new one for 90.
yeah, so I just that was the year the Wii U came out.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, well, I'll just get a Wii U. Screw it. So we bought the Wii U, and then a little bit later, my brother buys a Wii U, and he doesn't have like a little special gaming setup in his house. He's just got the main TV.
Right.
So he had a Wii sitting there doing nothing. I was like, hey, why don't you let me hold on to that Wii for you?
Oh, okay.
So we made that. So we have the Wii U upstairs on the main TV where the kids can play, but then we can send them down here to play regular Wii if we want to.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother-in-law, his original Wii broke and he soft modded it to do emulation. So he uses that as like an emulation box.
Yeah, I jailbroke my Wii once, I think.
Did you?
And then I started noticing stability problems, at least what seemed to be stability problems. Maybe I just was overthinking something or something. I don't know, but so I reverted the jailbreak on it.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, there was something. I think literally all you have to do is wait around for the next patch to come along.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true.
But I think there was a way to back this one out. I just decided, you know what, I'm not sure I like what it's done to the stability of the platform. And it may be completely different now. I mean, that was, the way those things are. You try the jailbreak technology in, February of '08 or February of 10 or something like that, and by
Hmm.
July of 11 it's completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I got my Intellivision down here with the ECS and the IntelliVoice.
Hmm.
I don't have those all plugged in right now. That seemed like a lot of extra for no good reason.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I guess the priorities were they wanted to get a chess program out because by the time the chess program got released, the ECS was just around the corner, the computer module.
Okay.
So you make. I wonder if they had any conversations in house about, well, why don't we just make the chess a computer module program
Hmm.
instead of putting it on the console as a game?
Right.
Because the computer module brings some extra RAM and other things. But if marketing thought they needed it to have their image appropriately looked up to in the market, then they probably didn't want to hamstring it to just the one computer component that hardly anybody bought. So
Yeah.
even if those two were ready side by side, I don't know.
The ECS, the games are carts, right? They're not tapes or anything.
Um, they are mainly carts, but you can type in basic programs and save those to tape.
Okay.
So I think there was the possibility of tape software for it as well.
It's just a regular tape player.
Right.
Okay.
It has 1/8-inch jacks on the back.
Oh,
Input out.
okay. Gotcha.
Matter of fact, Nermix saved his baseball game when we were doing the big baseball,
Yeah.
the ECS Major League Baseball, no, World Series Major League Baseball, excuse me.
Mhm.
Oh, Queen
Oh, check.
and check. Um, one of the features of that program is you can save your game to tape and restore it and continue playing.
Oh, well, that's cool.
And he tested that out by just recording a waveform, into a computer
Hmm.
from that port and loaded it back in, and it worked.
Wow. Okay, so the king
And
moved over to the right.
to the right. See again, I'd be the guy that grabs that pawn right there by the bishop. Just take it out.
Yeah.
But I bet the Intellivision's going to do something else it thinks is sneaky, trying to box that king and get this game finished. But yeah, I don't know if there was any. Off the top of my head, I don't know if there were any programs published on cassette for the ECS.
Okay.
Now, are you aware that the Intellivision had another computer module?
Uh, I don't. You're not talking about the Aquarius, right?
Correct. I'm not. That's yet another crazy thing.
Okay.
There was a what they called the keyboard component that was in production like from the very beginning,
Hmm.
and their goal was to make the CPU in the Intellivision the brains of an entire computer system
Oh, okay.
with
Okay.
a keyboard and tape. The thing had a tape built right into it.
Yeah.
So there were several programs created for the keyboard component that were on tape. But there were delays and delays and delays in getting that thing shipped.
Yeah.
And like you just described with the someone suing,
Yes.
this actually really happened. Mattel started getting sued by I think the FCC or I think the FCC, whoever would be looking into fraudulent advertising,
Yes.
and I think it was to the tune of like $10,000 a day
That it didn't come out.
that they didn't release something that would
Right.
fulfill this thing they had advertised. So they eventually rushed the ECS out the door and made the case that look, this is everything we said the computer thing was going to be.
Right.
And the keyboard component apparently they just either it was too expensive or wasn't reliable enough. It depends on who you talk to
Yeah. Yeah.
about what happened there. And there's like a very low number of them known to even exist anymore.
Okay.
Like there's always one apparently you can see at CGE,
Right.
and
Oh, yeah. I imagine
kind of
it
a
would be.
museum
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Never power on. You just see it as an artifact.
Yes.
And Keith Robinson, who owns Intellivision Productions, has one, I think, somewhere. All right, we're moving. He took out the pawn. As vindictive as I would be. And I don't know if it's being vindictive or just I couldn't come up with a better move, so I might as well get a piece.
Yes. All right. The king moves.
I'm still trying to get further out of harm's way.
Yeah.
So I've talked about this on the podcast, but when I kind of moved past Intellivision gaming as a kid and moved into computers, it was the Commodore 64,
Right.
and I knew that computer in and out, and I used that computer like crazy. And but there's like a whole hobby now about retro computing.
Yes.
People collect retro computers, and they collect all the manuals and all the things for them, and still do things with them. And some things beyond just gaming, actually.
Right. Yeah.
Try to do things with it. I've thought about digging into the ECS and trying to treat it like that hobby. Like, what could you really do with this computer if you really wanted to?
Oh.
Hook up a computer to it, and in terms of the input output of the wave file, make wave files. So actually, you could save software,
Right. Right.
put it back. Like, would this thing have done anything? But then I think, I've got other things I can do instead. Because it's not very powerful at all.
Right.
Apparently, the people at Mattel that had hopes for the keyboard component and were working on the keyboard component hated this thing.
Oh, really?
It was just such a cop out kind of a thing, low powered junk.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally missed the whole computer thing when I was a kid. I have an 800 now, but I don't do anything on it besides play games, and I haven't done that in years.
Yeah, we got into the Commodore 64 very early. My dad got one of the very first ones that you could buy.
Oh, yeah.
Like that wasn't like for somebody's family member or something. Um, and I remember they had serial numbers. We had a very low digit, like I think 3 digits or less,
Really?
serial number on our Commodore 64. But then something happened. It overheated. Something went wrong. My dad sent it back, and the new one we got was some crazy high serial number. So,
Oh,
but that one didn't break again. I mean, so whatever. There must have been some early manufacturing defect or something.
I see. Now, is that the keyboard part or the monitor
It was the keyboard. I mean, the computer itself was
is the keyboard?
all keyboard, and
Okay.
the Commodore 64 itself looks like a big fat keyboard.
Right.
And yeah, we early days we hooked that up to a television,
Okay. Okay.
and then eventually I conned my dad into buying a real monitor for it.
Those are very highly coveted these days,
What's that?
the Commodore monitors.
Oh, I've got two of them.
Do you?
Yeah, I picked them up somewhere because I thought, well, if nothing else,
Check.
these are useful for plugging in game systems too, because they have the
Yes.
two inputs. I didn't know they were highly sought after.
Yeah, for that reason, I think. All
I
right, so we
thought,
got
well, I'll have these around in case, the kids want to play games on some goofy ball system. I can send them over to that.
yeah. Okay, so the king moves to the right.
And the king continues its slow trek to the edge of the board.
Yeah. I imagine he's gonna get another check. Bless you, or I don't know what you did there.
Comes a cough. I
Okay.
actually even have a button I could have pressed, but
I always forget about that button.
so maybe if he brings the bishop down and checks the king, then the king will just move down, and the bishop and the queen could kind of toggle and force him down to a checkmate, I think.
Yeah,
Because he can't move down. He can only move down one square because
right.
the pawns below will attack him. This may be it. This may be him. They may get him boxed in here.
Yeah.
So did you learn anything about chess tonight?
Well, it's not called a horsey.
There you go. Sure. That's a step forward. Sure.
Yeah. I just it, there's just so much more strategy about it that I have no idea about. I don't know if I'd be able to grasp it. Like you said, I just have to play more chess because I never play it.
Yeah, I'm not very good at scanning the board and evaluating. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I can kind of follow what people are doing, um, more or less.
Hmm.
But like, being able to sit back, it's my turn, and just kind of, all right, I'm attacking this way. Well, can I make that move? Can I make that? I'm just not really good at that level of analysis of the chessboard to become an opponent that is hard to beat or something.
Yeah. Do you play with anyone, or do you just play on the computer when you
No,
play?
it's mainly computer. I mean, I play with my kids, and they really like that, but it's not playing chess. You're just moving pieces around until somebody captures somebody
Right, right.
because they can't. Um, they're not thinking about the game picture. I mean, they're 7 and 5. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not chess players yet. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I tried to play a game of chess with a coworker of mine years ago, and he played at the time. He was playing every week in a chess club,
Oh,
and I mean, he just mopped the floor of with
yeah.
the game was over in like 10 moves or something like that because I was
Oh, wow.
blundering along, and um, he just brought out a couple of powerful pieces, honed him into my king, and I didn't even know what he was doing, and pretty much didn't take long. And I thought, yeah, oh, bringing the queen in close.
Okay. Make
Maybe
room
he's
for
trying to
the
box the
bishop.
king up against those pawns. He can't go in that direction. Matter of fact, the
He
king
can't
can't
go
move at all right
anywhere.
now. So he's going to have to move one of those pawns,
Yep,
and he did.
yep. But that would be another check too, right? Or that'd be checkmate, wouldn't it?
Uh,
Is that checkmate now? Once he takes. Oh, that's.
Checkmate
Yep.
with the bishop up top.
Ah, I wasn't expecting the bishop.
Yeah, I mean, if the queen took that pawn,
Yeah.
then the king would take the queen. So that wasn't going to be the good move.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So let's see what the Atari does when it gets checkmated.
Oh, get the
Upside down king at the top
upside
there.
down king at the top. Yeah.
I lose. And that's I'm sure you're familiar. Like in chess, the way you resign is to topple your king.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if the game has gotten to a point where you know the person understands that, oh my goodness, at this point I can't win, and there's no point in playing it out further
Yeah.
to show that I can't win. They'll tip the king over, and that's
Okay.
an indication that
I guess
I resign or I've
that's what
lost.
that is signifying then.
Yeah, I think that's what the
It's missing
Atari's.
a line at the bottom too.
What's that?
It's missing a line
Oh yeah,
at
draw.
the bottom. That's weird. Maybe that's the top line because that seems to match up with the top line of the three there.
Three.
Yeah.
Ah, this crazy Venetian blinds.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Television beat Atari, but I mean, I don't know. It seemed like Intellivision had an advantage for a lot of the latter half of the game.
The thinking more, you mean?
Well, I mean, just in terms of most of its position and material, it seemed like it was the one who was in charge
Yeah, yeah.
throughout the way the game progressed. But it definitely was thinking longer. I mean, shoot, you could see the times at the bottom of the Intellivision screen there, an hour and
Yeah.
10 versus 32 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it was an even match. We didn't give the Atari really the chance to think it through.
Yeah, maybe if I tried four against your three,
4 against 3
might be a little more
sometime.
even, yeah.
Well, I'm up for it sometime. We can give that a shot.
Okay.
All right, so you're doing your podcast this week, and you'll include chess in that one.
Yes. Yep.
So everybody should look for that. And we're recording this around the evening of April 22nd, 2014. So when you come across this later,
Yeah.
um, you know what episode number that's going to be for yours?
Oh, no, I don't. 57, I think, maybe. I can't
So
remember.
we're recording episode 57-ish
Yeah.
this week, and you'll talk about chess on that one.
Right.
Well, cool. Thanks for playing a little back and forth here again.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. I appreciate
And
it.
yeah, let me know if you want to try any of these three games again with different combinations of different levels and or make that one computer go first instead of the other. I,
Okay.
I, I enjoy it, and I'd be interested to do it again.
Yeah, it's fun. A lot of fun. It's cool to see the two systems duking it out.
Duking it out.
Yeah.
All right, then. Have a good podcast this week, and
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody.
yeah, everybody, if you got this far, thanks a lot. If you skipped ahead to the end, well, I don't think I can blame you. So it is just two old cool gaming systems playing chess. I don't know,
Right.
but thanks a lot either way, and
Yep. Thank you.
we'll be hoping maybe we'll make a few more of these. I don't know.
Yep.
All right, and with
Good
that,
night.
I will say good night.
Good night.